We are live, coming here with a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. I'm your host, Trevor. And the past few weeks, hand up, Stir the Pod has been slacking. We have had one person gone week after week after week, and it is very time for Stir the Pod to get back on the rails, have a wonderful time. We want to give you the best possible show. This podcast could be off the rails. So let's just meet who we got tonight. First, coming from Indianapolis himself, Alex Burge. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Yo, yo, yo.
Coming from Center City, Indianapolis, downtown, Andy. Andy, how you doing tonight? Can't hear you. Didn't hear audio there, but
What up?
What up? And back from the redemption house. First time you can cash those overs of 0.5. Adam Mito's in the chat tonight. How we doing?
Wow.
What's going on, boys? Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Look at this squad. The four horsemen, as some people would say, back at it, one night only. I don't know how we're doing this, but we told you after slacking, I think Andy's LVP was STP last week, and we had to get back on the tracks, had to get on board, and the only way was to bring one of the founding fathers, Adam Mito's, back from the dead to the pod.
Look, the best, as they say, the best availability is accountability. And so Andy giving us the LVP last week, we just got to hold ourselves accountable, and here we are.
Here we are. Episode 13 recap show.
Wait, Trev, we're not actually doing this, are we?
No, I think this might be just a Photoshop photo of. I mean, before we even dive into our thoughts, Alex, how are you doing? I mean, last time we saw you, I felt like it was very Nani-esque. You were in the hospital. I thought you were dead.
Yeah, I went through a very, I would say Tony Bloodlines-esque. Remember when he was falling to the ground at the elimination? I think he was still like drinking heavily during it. But yeah, no, I'm feeling better. I sent in my pick from. I was literally watched the back nine of last week's episode from a hospital bed. First time in challenge history that I think that's been done. But yeah, I'm back. I'm feeling good now. I think tonight was maybe the best episode of the year.
Wow.
Has to be.
I don't know, Jim.
Wow.
So, Adam, what are your thoughts on tonight's episode?
I think I might agree with Alex. I really liked it. I thought the daily was unique, and there were a lot of smirky moments from it. I mean, we will get into it, but Devin helping the other team, not only was that incredible that he was able to do it, but also totally idiotic from my vantage point. But I thought there were a lot of ups and downs in the episode, and I was very pleased with it, Trev.
Andy, your thoughts on tonight's episodes?
I mean, I don't really agree with these two Javis. I'm going to go ahead and say this was the best non-finale episode in the past 3 seasons.
Okay.
And granted, I don't know all those episodes off the top of my head, but I'm just going to run with it because I love tonight's episode. I mean, it was awesome. This was the first time in years where I did the classic my move, look at your phone to see what time it is. More often than not, you're doing that to think like, all right, let's get this thing moving. Let's get on with this. How much longer do we have? I was looking at it like, I hope this isn't over. And we were like 30 minutes in. I was like, this is amazing. It was almost like when you wake up before your alarm and you're like, oh, yes, I get to go back to sleep again. It was like, oh, I still have another hour of this episode left. I was on cloud 9. I loved it.
Wow. So we can all agree it was the best of the year. What about best of the season?
We'll get into that.
God. I like tonight's episode. It was a fun episode. We'll get into the carnival games. Gave me very Mario Party vibes. I mean, kind of hinting at what Adam said earlier. I mean, Devin's gameplay there with the slingshot might have been one of the greatest performances of a daily challenge that somebody wasn't part of all time, some might say. So let's just dive in. And the first thing we had was the streak. And I think the streak here is a little, I think last week, Andy, we gave it a 0.5.
Correct.
This could be another scenario where we give it a 0.5. I don't know if we can officially mark it down as 1 when, correct me if I'm wrong, Alex, Fezzi was the first shot. Absolutely. But we did not see him the first person to walk through the house.
But he was the first one shown.
Correct. So are we chalking that up?
Well, the thing is, I think if you want to say it's a 0.5, I'm okay with that. But you round up the 0.5 to a 1.
Oh, come on.
So I think the streak continues.
Chalk her up then. Chalk her up. And I think with that hit there, Alex, that has officially hit our over mark on the season. Congratulations.
Chalk it up.
Chalk it up. Chalk it up. So right after the streak, we kind of go into some of the conflict in the house. The two big things is Fezzi versus Mariah now and Jordan versus Tori. Fezzi versus Mariah, obviously last episode, Mariah just, I don't know what her move was, just not saying, saving Fezzi. Like, I mean, it's your ride or die. And it almost is like another thing how we bring up how close are these folks? And I kind of want to leave the floor open because we obviously got Andy's opinion last week. But what do you think about that move, Alex and Adam, of Fezzi basically just getting left on his own island and Mariah saying, fuck you, I'm not voting for you, or I'm just going to let you die, basically?
I mean, I can
go into elimination.
I can kind of see both sides. I can certainly see, though, the side of Mariah making a dumb move. I think at this point, though, Fezzi is just looking for any reason to go for Mariah. He fucking hates her. We saw that last week. We saw that all throughout tonight's episode. Like, he, genuinely dislikes her, and he's kind of been, from the second that they said we're going into teams, even before the teams were drafted, Fezzi, I feel like more than anybody on the whole cast was like, I don't care who my ride or die is. I don't care how they're going. Kind of watching out for himself. So it's kind of good to see a little bit of payback in that sense. But Mariah definitely made the wrong move to not, save Fezzi or at least send it to a tiebreaker or whatever. But I feel like most partners in that situation would kind of be more sympathetic with Mariah and kind of explain to her, here's why you should have done this. It's fine. We're still both in the game. Whereas Fezzi was like, I fucking hate this girl and she didn't save me, even though I might have gone in anyway. So I'm just going to throw her, under the bus every chance I get.
Adam, anything?
I mean, no, nothing specifically on that. I did want to just pause here because we're 8 minutes in. So I think Andy said he had to bounce as typical, always bailing early and whatnot, unlike me, literally been on every episode this year. But Trev, to answer your question, I kind of got vibes of the way that she was explaining why she did it. It almost made me feel like we didn't see the full picture. Like she wanted to say Fezzi's name, or sorry, she wanted to say the other name to tie it up, but she might have gotten pushback that you guys would have to vote in your own team or something. Cause she was not making sense. She was confident that if she tied up the vote, then their team would have had to send somebody in. And I don't know how she would have been that confident with it. So that's kind of what I was thinking.
I agree, Adam. I just think she is just clueless and dumb and she has no idea. And kind of what Alex said earlier too. I just think it's stupid. Jesse Adams writes, I want to address this question here before we jump into the Jordan and Tori drama. But Jesse Adams writes in the chat, okay, I've been gone, but I need to know, is Andy a fan of Mariah or does she need to be a blonde?
I don't discriminate. I actually texted in this group chat as the episode was going on, people sleep on Mariah. She's bad. Now, don't sleep on Olivia either. But all I'm going to say is whoever's in charge of casting the rookie girls for this season needs to be promoted immediately because they need to keep doing what they're doing.
So you're fine with them coming from what are those girls coming from? I guess Mariah's just a bloodline.
Bloodline. What?
Isn't she related to Fezzi?
No.
They're just I thought she was like a cousin of Fezzi.
No.
Oh,
I
classic.
think she's his side ting.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there was some DM sliding that happened with them way back.
Way back.
Where are we?
God, we're hopping on Jordan and Tori. Jordan and Tori. Obviously, last week Jordan switched his vote. Basically said Tori, threatened him, which she kind of did, and we kind of brought up in the pod last week. Tori, like, what was the point of even talking to Jordan? Like, just stay out of it. Like, to me and Andy, we thought it was a dumb move. I don't know if you guys want to talk about this or we can just move on, but it was kind of the aftermath of that. Do you guys want to talk about it, or should we just go right into the challenge itself?
My biggest thing with the Jordan and Tori and the Fezzi and Mariah, for that matter, was I was surprised that I guess I'm not surprised. I couldn't the fact that all these idiots are fighting in front of each other is like the biggest thing to me. Like, especially Jordan and Tori, you guys, they were fucking engaged. If you're gonna have an argument, why don't you go into a side room and do it instead of fighting in front of, Anissa as she's scarfing down her meatballs, and like Casey and Horacio are kind of walking around. Like, if you want to have an argument, like, go talk about it. Like, it's just like it's almost embarrassing that these like grown adults are just like getting in screaming matches in front of several other grown adults.
But Alex, to counter that, but isn't that the shit we love to see though?
It is. But
I think both can be right. Trev, I think you're right. That's what we love to see. But I think Alex is bringing up a good point. Like, who in their right minds would be having these like heated discussions, fights, arguments, whatever, in front of other people? Now, granted, like, you're being recorded to be put on a TV show to be watched by millions of people. But when you're actually in a room and there's like 8 other people just watching you have this conversation, what are you thinking? It makes no sense. I completely agree with both of you.
That the scene kind of gave me vibes with all the people just like sitting there watching the fight. Kind of gave me vibes of, I guess it would have been Rivals 3 when cousin Jamie was tapping out Ashley, and all those clowns like Bananas, Vince, they were all just like peeking through the window, like watching it. Like, there's just no privacy in a challenge house.
I thought you were going to go a different direction, Javi, in terms of who it reminded you of. It kind of gave me The Office dinner party vibes of you've got Michael and Jan just going at each other's throats, and everyone else is just like, what? Do they know we're here? What do we do? Like, I mean, it was just chaotic. But again, Trev, to your point, I loved watching it.
I know. It's like one of those things where you kind of just sit back and you're like, and kind of like Alex's point, like, are they that stupid? Like, it's just amazing to watch, honestly.
Are they that stupid? Did you see the end of the episode when she spelled it like Devonshire was her answer to the final trivia question?
God.
Dice spin.
God. So moving on to the challenge itself, basically 4 carnival games we got. We got a target one, we got a puzzle one, we got a memory one, and then a bungee one. So let's just kind of go in order. The first one was the target one, and you had Jordan versus Fezzi. Basically, for this challenge, you have a slingshot, and you basically just have to. It's like a golf ball. Use the slingshot and hit one of those giant puzzle boards or whatever. And if you miss, you have to drink some. I don't even know what it was or whatever. And basically, as soon as you get 3 of those, your time stops. And out of the 4 challenges, it's a timed event. So, what did we think about this first one? I really enjoyed this first one. I want to hear Adam's take on, Lieutenant Colonel Devin Walker giving out signs to Jordan, because I thought that was one of the most unbelievable daily challenge performances of all time.
I totally agree. I was floored by that action itself, and I honestly don't understand how it worked. So if someone could explain it to Adam, I'm not a big physics guy, but how was Devin from 20 feet away on the side able to direct them well enough to get them to hit those slingshots? I found it quite impressive. And then when he went to help out Fezzi or Fezzle, I feel like that was just a terrible move and something that a smart guy like Devin normally wouldn't do unless it was intentional for his game. And that thought crossed my mind, but I don't know. I feel like they truly felt bad for Fezzle having to drink that shit.
I was going to say, you brought up a great point there, Adam. That is a great move for Devin's gameplay forward. If he's ever in a elimination or whatever, or like goes into the deliberation room and, you know, he sat down, he's like, look, I helped you guys out. Like literally, I gave you the answer to this. We could still be here today. Very Anissa stuck on the pole-esque today. Like it could be a huge move for him. Now I think about it, it wasn't a guy's elimination. That's a brilliant move by him.
Well, and Trev, you just brought up the main point, and I think this is why he did it, was because Tori was the one asking Devin to help him out because it was a girls' elimination, because Tori is Devin's ride or die. So he knew he was safe regardless. So, like, even though it's his own team, like in a sense of Nani, Moriah, and Amber B, like, who does he genuinely care about the most in that game? Those three or Tori? Like, it's got to be Tori.
Yeah.
So I think he felt like he was doing her a favor of being like, I'll help you win so I'll help your team win so you're safe. But then you brought up a good point too of knowing him, he's definitely going to use that to help himself out later in the season.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Alex,
I'm surprised that if that was Devin's motive for helping Fezzi, I'm surprised that like they didn't include a confessional of him like kind of alluding to that. And they kind of did, but not really. Like I feel like there would have been one where Devin, you know, gave a little wink wink and was like, you know, I'm throwing the challenge basically. And the fact that he didn't leads me to think that maybe it wasn't really the plan all along. I also wonder too, like how much of Devin helping Fezzi was just like the human element of having a dozen people there who have all been standing there for fucking an hour and just like want to get the challenge done with. That was the first of 4. Like we saw how long this challenge took overall. And so I just wonder how much of it too is like all of them being like, dude, can you fucking help this guy? Like we've been standing here for over an hour. You guys are up by 30 minutes. If we make it up, who cares? Like we just got to get this thing over with. And then that kind of, you know, seeped into Devin's head of like wanting to help. I don't know, but it was just, I'm still kind of confused by it, his decision to help them.
Yeah. 2 things I want to bring up with this, and then we can move on to the next one. One, Alex, were you trying to hope for like a confessional very similar to Bananas a few seasons ago where he was kind of like, oh, I just slipped and fell when they were climbing up the mountain. I think it was War of the Worlds 2 or 1.
2, yeah.
And I think he hit Ashley and threw her down or something. Were you kind of like hoping for that?
Yes, because and then exactly. They cut to Bananas doing that, and then I think in that challenge they actually cut to Leroy, and he unironically said like Bananas is a great actor. Meanwhile, like during the challenge, all 20 people that are there, like this dude's clearly faking it, clearly throwing it, and Leroy is just too dumb to realize that he's throwing it.
Absolutely. And the last thing I want to bring up, what do you guys think Devin's percentage was? Because they acted like he was like 3 of 3 as soon as he, you know, started talking. He was perfect. Do we think he was like 3 of 10, 3 of 7? Like,
I think he was 100%. I think he's like he described it. He's a spotter. He gave me very Bobby Lee Swagger and Michael Pena vibes from Shooter. I think he was just pinpoint accurate.
Really?
Trev, I'm with you. I thought about that too, especially when they cut to Fuzzy and he just nails it. It's like, all right, this is throwing everything off. There's just simply, there is literally no way that he went 100%.
That's true. And if you think about it, like his advice was literally just like move your foot back a little bit. Like that's totally random. And I think that the first one was probably just a coincidence. Yes. And all the other people were like, oh my God, Devin, fucking genius. Like literally just gave one piece of advice.
God. So Jordan beats Fezzi. Probably has like a 35-minute head start lead going into the second challenge, which was a puzzle. And this was Anissa and Olivia versus Devin and Nani, basically just running down, picking up puzzle pieces and putting them in place. Nothing too crazy about this one. I think the time Devin and Nani were like probably 5-10 minutes behind. It was pretty close, but anything else you guys want to talk about?
Who's the new puzzle queen/king? I think that's the only question we need to answer in this segment.
I think Olivia and Nisa, right?
Okay.
We both have to claim them. And I mean, we might even have to bring in Horacio and Amber.
So does Devin lose a puzzle king status, or I feel like for this it's just an additive one, like everybody that ever wins.
I think all 4 of them get this for this challenge.
They technically all did it.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing is like, can you ever lose the puzzle queen king status? If I'm being honest.
If Sarah, the quote unquote puzzle queen, can lose the puzzle to Jasmine and John A and still retain her puzzle queen status, I don't think it can ever be lost.
I 100% agree, Alex. So that one, nothing too crazy. The next one was a memory, very similar. You're kind of running. One person's running to a board, just explaining the one piece. I think it was 16 puzzle pieces or whatever, and the other person is just putting the puzzle pieces on the board. Nothing too crazy here. Looked like Bananas and Tori were a little behind Horacio and Amber. The one thing I want to bring up is I kind of like this Horacio and Amber team. Like, I don't know how this game's going to be played out, if it is going to end up ride or dies in the end, but if this team was in a final together, I like that team.
For sure.
Oh, come on.
For sure. They got good endurance, well-rounded. Amber's won a final. People forget that.
No, she hasn't. Sounds very Mickey Mouse-esque.
God.
So then I guess the last thing was the bungee. And the bungee was basically, you're sprinting to a pole, one person grabs it and the other person has to get it. And it's, it doesn't seem that complicated by any means, but that tension of the rope was probably not fun for Mariah, and she couldn't do it. So that was Chauncey and Casey getting to the pole first. They were hanging on for dear life. They let go, and then Jordan and Mariah had about 30 minutes to complete it, and they couldn't get it done. So then you had the team vets or whatever we want to call them. Are they the pink team or yellow team? Yellow, right?
It doesn't matter.
No, pink is vets. They won.
Pink.
No, I thought they were sapphire.
I thought they were green. I think we've switched colors 5 times this season. Just saying. But with that being said, the vets team, whatever you want to call them, yellow, purple, green, purple, blue, whatever, pick up the dub. And back to the rookie team or whatever you want to call them, the Island of Misfit Toys get thrown in to the elimination. So what do we think about all 4 of these games? Do we like this kind of mini, very Mario Party mini game-esque games? Do we like that or no?
I like the idea of it. I did not like how they executed it one by one with kind of the rest of the people who aren't involved just watching from the sidelines. What I kind of thought it was going to be, which I was excited for, was I thought it was going to be there's 4 mini games, let's call them, that all start at the same time. And everybody's split up, so only 1 or 2 people from a team are doing it. And then once you finish your thing, you get one, in this season, a big puzzle piece that you carry towards the middle, and you have to wait till your 3 teammates at the other stations finish their mini games and come in, and then you build it together. I thought it was going to be something like that, instead of the one by one, oh, you 2 are going to do this. We're going to stand here for an hour and watch you and then walk to the other station. I thought each of the games was pretty good, but just the overall construction of the overall daily I didn't really like. It was just too slow. It felt too broken up. I think they could have done it a little better.
My thing is, why didn't we just make it all continuous? Why do we have to take the breaks in between? Why couldn't we get at the start of it, be like, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this, or whatever. And then it's like, as soon as you're done with like the slingshot thing, that team moves on to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? So there's no dead period of time.
Well, I like that, Trevor. What would have been a nice little wrinkle, there's no way they would have done this, but if they would have voted for it, split them all out at the same time and had them go on their own and then just go back to the center, because then realistically what you could do is take the old BME stopwatch out of the equation and just say the first team that has all their players back in the middle of like the little plus sign they were running, first team that gets everyone back wins.
The only reason you can't do that is the Island of Misfit Toys had Jordan go twice.
True.
So that's why I figured if you just kept it the same order and it was like as soon as you finish the bungee, you just slide on, because then you can switch up the people still. It's not, whatever. That's the only thing.
One question that I do have for you guys, very random about the daily, is do you think that they gave the challengers lunch? And the reason I asked this is because you clearly saw they got there. I'm guessing they got on the bus at 6 o'clock. They didn't give the T-Mobile sidekick clue, but I'm guessing they got there very early, and they left when it was dark outside. It was a long ass day. While people did think about Anissa. She carried a puzzle piece for like 2 minutes. That's all she did the whole day. Like, do you think they stopped for like a 30-minute long lunch in between and like gave some of the producers, cameramen lunch? Or do you think they kind of thought in their mind, oh, we'll be done with this by noon, we'll be out of here by 1, and then we'll get lunch back at the house, and they just like grossly underestimated how long this shit would take?
Maybe, but I can also see them doing like a giant ass picnic in that field.
Well, I was thinking Burger King catering.
Oh,
BK. Tony Reyes shows up.
You rule.
Ryan McCord writes, what type of granola bars? Chewy or Natural Valley? Natural Valley. Classic. Nature Valley.
Okay, Mariah.
God. I'd go Chewy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Chocolate chip. Don't at me.
I'm sorry. I don't know why that was so funny.
You good, Adam?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on. We go back to the house. It's a girls' elimination. We got Nani, Amber, Mariah up for elimination. Interrogation happens. No really surprise. Everybody kind of pleading their own case. I mean, if I'm on this team, I mean, I don't understand why they voted Mariah is the thing. Not to get ahead. I think that was a dumb vote.
Explain.
I think it was mostly for personal reasons, though.
Yeah,
like everyone there is either friends or dating or has previously dated Nani.
Yeah, but how many votes?
Let's not act like Bananas and Mariah are dating. He knows what he's doing. She knows what she's doing. Good for them both.
Yeah, this is when Alex would normally step in and be like, should we do a 1-by-1 if all the people Bananas is tapped out, and then we get off the rails for like 12 minutes?
Well, I have some 1-by-1s for later.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, but not even Nani. Why not Amber B?
I mean, it was pretty close. There's only 7 votes to go around. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I thought this was the weak link of the episode, was this 20 minutes, which I feel like it usually is. But in this case, tonight, we got the first time where there really was no drama in terms of...
Did Andy leave?
What else is new? Always
looks like his 30-minute time limit's up.
Can you guys see me?
Django.
But you only have 3 girls available, and so you know that if they were going to vote one, which they kind of alluded to very early on, that the other 2 people, one of them is going to be safe, one of them is going to go in. There's no saving anybody anymore, and so that takes out a lot of the drama. Where before it was like, okay, if we vote in this person, it leaves these 3 people, and we can kind of predict what they would do if they pulled a safe dagger. There was none of that. And so it was honestly, it's pretty boring in that middle 15, 20 minutes where they interrogated him. Nani was crying. Amber was, being Amber. Mariah had those little shorts on that barely covered her ass, but like it was all like just exactly what you would expect. But I mean, I don't know. What did you guys think? I thought this was the episode. This is part of the episode where I was going to Twitter heavy.
If they cut out this segment and made it what I've always clamored for, a 60-minute episode, I feel that idea that I've always shared on this platform that would have made for a 10 out of 10 episode. Because I agree. That was boring. These have been pretty consistently boring, these interrogations, but this one especially. What do you think,
Adam?
Andy?
Adam, great idea.
Adam. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say what they could have done here, because the elimination started with like 30 to go. And for the most part this season, they haven't done that. It's been less. So I would have loved to shorten the interrogation, shorten the elimination time for both, and thrown in a club. We didn't get a club tonight.
That's back-to-back episodes. Back-to-back episodes, no club.
I don't like that.
I don't either.
Especially, I also think like once there's fewer people, you start getting the clubs. Like everyone's starting to get a little testy. Everyone's like names could be thrown out there. That's when the clubs, you throw alcohol into the mix and people start going nuts. So I was a little upset. I think that would have been the best way to fill that time between the daily and elimination, would be to throw in a club, then throw in the interrogation, then go into the elimination. That's just me.
I wish. I feel like Pastagate was probably around this time in the season. Just what you were describing. People kind of, numbers are dwindling, getting a little testy. And the next thing you know, Corey's just body slamming Tony and almost concussing him for a bowl of penne.
And then didn't he say he slipped? Or he was like, no, I didn't do that. What are you talking about?
Buddy, it's a TV show. There's cameras everywhere.
Speaking of Tony Reigns, can we get him back on the challenge, please?
Travis,
but I think Adam
you say that because I know Adam's always said that too.
I think Adam just recently saw him. I think he was on a Skype call with him.
Go watch it.
I think Alex has that photo somewhere.
I saw Challenge Mafia was doing those little group calls with those clowns they get, charging people like $100 for the entry code.
Don't you get like a shirt of Derek dressed up as like an elephant or something?
My city. God. All right. Back on the rails. Elimination. Mariah gets voted in. And then I think for the first time ever, we get a special guest with TJ. Right? Was this the first time TJ has ever brought in family?
Hasn't he brought in like a BMX buddy like way back? Am I misremembering something?
I think he brought Dave Mira back, RIP, for one of the episodes, kind of his first season. But I could be wrong. I thought he did.
I don't know.
But we get Mrs. TJ Lavin, which, I mean, dare I say
that was awesome.
She's bad.
I mean, Tori said so in her confessional, and I trust Tori's opinion.
So I mean, I knew once the second he introduces his wife, it obviously became a thing that I knew we were all going to talk about and smirk about on the podcast tonight. It's one of those things that's related to the challenge, but not actually game related, kind of like Puss in Boots from a couple of weeks ago. So do you guys think, we've heard TJ talk in interviews before and basically say that while these seasons are going on, he is kind of living in his own quarters with basically himself, I think, maybe a few cast or maybe a few production members, but he often has like friends come visit him and just like kind of hang out for a week or two. And then, TJ will say like, all right, I got to leave and go film a challenge for 8 hours and then come back. Do you think, I mean, I would guess that that's what happened on this episode, that his wife came and visited him and just happened to so be there for the elimination. But then I was also thinking like, why would it take this long for that to happen? Like, I'm sure his wife has visited has visited him on the seasons before. And so, like, why do you think it took this long for Mrs. TJ to come on?
I have no idea. I think this might just be like TJ. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, I thought you were saying something. I think this was something TJ put in.
Trev, go ahead.
I thought. Shut the fuck up for 2 seconds.
Wait. Really quick. What are we going to do about cuffs?
I think this was something TJ put in to his clause this season. I think with COVID and everything,
Santa?
I'm pretty sure he was, off on his own last season. And he's like, I need somebody to be here with me this season. And it was probably his wife to come for a little vacation. I'm surprised. The only thing I'll ask Alex, do you think they're sharing, the same house as Kenny? Or do you think Kenny is still watching HBO Max?
I think Kenny's locked up on floor 8 of the Hilton Inn watching HBO Max. I mean, he's got to be. I mean, he's still there. He's still there. He's meeting Mariah, which we'll get to in a little bit. But I think Mrs. TJ is in a completely different spot. The only other outcome that I could think of is, do you think maybe Mrs. TJ has never come to visit TJ, and it's just kind of a thing where he's like, I want to go film the show for 2 months. I'll be gone. Like, don't worry about coming to visit me. And do you think now TJ is wondering how many he has left in him?
Stop
and he
it.
only has a few more seasons to host. And he says, before I hang it up, I want my wife to come see the show. I want her to see kind of my life for the past 10 years. And then that's why she's coming on now, because TJ is close to the finish line.
How long have they been married
for that?
Does anybody know?
I don't know. I think maybe it's like and accepted when Bartleby's parents come and Bartleby has to like get everybody to be on their best behavior and like make sure his parents know he's at like a legitimate school. I feel like that's what this was. And like, she's been begging to come, but he like doesn't want her to know like how sick it is. And so he gets there, he's like acting all tough. And he's like, oh yeah, see, this is a terrible strategy. Like, here's what you want to do. And he's like really playing it up for his wife just to like, brownie points and get on her good side.
I think you're probably right, Adam. And coming from you, the biggest accepted fan that I know,
that's me.
I think that's spot on.
No comments.
Blake Lively. Bad.
Wasn't there a 10-year difference between those two actors too?
Uh-huh.
All right. So Mrs. TJ comes in and basically Amber versus Nani, who's going to be the one pulling the safe card. Amber goes first in one of the most dramatic polls of all time. I think that might have taken longer than the whole daily. Like, it was so damn long. She took it.
Mean, Sal Rubinek, Mark Ruffalo overacting award. Hello. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, Amber pulls the safe card. Amber pulls the safe. She is good. So Nani goes into elimination, and we got Nani versus Mariah. So going into this elimination, Andy, what are the odds? You're the actually I say you're the expert, but actually Adam's the real betting expert. So
I mean, we all do know that.
What are the odds of Nani versus Mariah in this matchup?
Ooh, I'd say knowing what the actual elimination is, I'd say it's pretty close to even. I'd give like minus 130 Mariah. The reason I say that is because it takes a lot of strength, but on the other hand, Nani has the experience. I'd say we don't know enough about Mariah's intelligence at this point to give a fair odds on her, puzzle piece of this elimination, but I'd say pretty even. Are you hammering the plus 110, Andy?
I'm hammering it. It's a rookie. It's her first elimination ever.
Horacio's a rookie, and he's won like 17 already this year.
Horacio's beast.
Well, last year, but
Well, that line moved.
Good point.
I'm hammering that so much, I'm moving the line myself. If you're giving me Nani at plus 110.
Fair enough.
I mean, that's too much. She's been doing this for 10 years.
And she's not all that great at it. I mean, if we're being honest.
I don't disagree with you, but you're also dealing with a rookie. First elimination ever. Fuzzy tried saying that she's been flying under the radar. She has to earn her stripes. First off, buddy, you have to earn your fucking stripes. I don't know who he is thinking that he needs to, or he has the ability to dictate who earns what stripes. He's stripeless. He's a horse. He's not a zebra. He needs to figure it out. So for him to be calling that out made no sense to me. But you got to go with the vet in this situation. Nani, minus 180. Nothing crazy, but minus 180.
I just want to bring up something you said here. So you think Fezzi hasn't earned his stripes yet?
No.
What does he have to do to earn it? I'm just curious. I'm not disagreeing or agreeing with that statement.
I'm disagreeing. How is he not?
I think he's 4-0 in eliminations.
Who is he beat? I'm genuinely asking, who is he beat?
Nelson,
Nelly twice.
Jordan.
Josh.
And no, it wasn't Josh.
No.
How did he win against Josh?
Alex.
Beep,
But
boop,
where's Boogie? Was it Kyle? Kyle. He beat Kyle.
Where is
It did be Kyle.
He broke Kyle's finger or something.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. He's been in, like, granted, I love Nelly T. Nelly T's the man, Scuba Nelly, legend. But that's half of his elimination wins. He doesn't have a ring. Like,
we missed an elimination because he also beat you, Andy, in the hypothetical hall brawl. But you already know that.
No, I beat him in the hypothetical conversation about the hypothetical hall brawl, meaning that he actually does have a loss to his name. And based on how he talks, based on how he walks, based on how he handles himself, you would think he's a two-time champ.
But Andy, but to earn his stripes now, what does he have to do? Just win? That's the only thing?
Just win, baby.
Huh? That's fair. I'm just curious.
That's what I think. Like, if you're calling someone else out for earning their stripes, you have to have a no doubt, I've earned my stripes on this show, and I don't think Fuzzy's there.
So you're kind of giving him the Trace Jackson Davis treatment, where it's like, yeah, you got a couple of little accolades to your name, but your one tournament appearance, you lost by 79 points to St. Mary's.
Yes, in your one finale appearance, you quit because you couldn't eat something.
Very Jay.
As he said it last episode, he said, it doesn't matter how many great things I do, and I've done a lot of great things, but if you don't win, nobody remembers you. And that's true.
Exactly.
Unless you're Leroy. R.I.P. to his challenge career, not to his life.
Well, I think this is, now that we're getting into Nani versus Mariah, I think this is a perfect time for the 1x1. And my question to start off is, do you guys know Nani's last elimination win before tonight?
Gabby.
Ooh.
Is it Gabby?
God.
I'm going to say Gabby.
Oh, good guess.
It was the one jumping to grab the flag.
Jumping to grab the.
Yeah, was it Living on a Prayer that they played?
Yeah.
I think
it was the ring. He had to jump and grab the ring.
But so before that, let me go. So before that, I think she was on a long losing streak. Of course,
it would have been bananas when they beat Zach to come back into the game.
Why the red face?
Slow down. So before Gabby, she lost to Melissa on Total Madness. Don't remember that one. She lost to Ashley on War of the Worlds 2. I do remember that one because that was a race that they kind of did all by themselves, very Exile-esque. Before that, she lost to Georgia on the tape chair elimination, legendary.
That's an asterisk. That has to be an asterisk.
That was bullshit.
That's very like if you won fantasy football last year, very Mickey Mouse title elimination.
Good point.
Yeah.
Maybe 2 years ago.
Before that, she lost to her cousin, Nicole and Dario, the fucking legend.
Which Nicole was it?
It was one of her 30 face. It was face number 7, I think, of 30.
Ah, that's right.
Was that the wine
Dario.
check? What elimination was that?
It was one where it was kind of like a hall brawl, but like digging on all four.
Crawl brawl, I think it was called.
Yeah. But then people forget her and Wes did win a couple eliminations right before that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Has Wes ever won an elimination?
Soccer one. Remember the soccer one?
Blind soccer.
Nelly and Corey?
No, I think Nani and Wes did a blind soccer one, right?
Yeah, against Kellyanne and Jamie, friend of the program.
Yeah.
Well,
Jamie.
remember when Kellyanne confessed her love to Wes? Like
That was and
10
his
years
comeback.
after they broke up.
And his comeback.
That's literally illegal, I think, per their contracts.
Ooh, we fancy.
Were you even on that podcast, Andy? I mean, some are questioning if I was even on that podcast. I said 6 words.
God, very Nam-esque.
God. Wait, Nam wasn't on this season.
No. Wait, do you guys remember Whittle Tommy?
Oh, come on.
Oh God.
Couldn't even lift up the rope one time.
All right. So
Wait, was that wait, serious question. Was that this season?
Yes.
Didn't he?
No.
Wasn't that big blonde-haired guy helping him out?
God, very Devin with Fuzzle-esque. It all comes back full circle.
Full circle.
Ed from the circle.
God. Remember how much Alex hated Ed? And we
He
were all
hated
Ed?
him.
He hated him.
All 3 of us were bulging, and Alex was gurping.
Speaking of Ed, didn't he make like a song or something?
Rolex on my dick.
Can you play that for a little bit? In other songs, Emmy, Alien, I'm an Alien. People forget in that reunion show, they all wore Alien t-shirts.
That reunion was
Didn't she
fucking
perform?
terrible.
I think she performed.
That's how they ended it. They closed it
Yes.
with Emmy singing "I'm an Alien." And it's like, what the fuck are we watching?
Oh, the challenge.
Honestly,
No,
can we get Emmy back?
God.
God, she's literally only missed 1 season, but it feels like 5 years. She was on the most recent season.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes. That was literally
Last
like-
year.
She made her
last year.
she made her debut in 2021, and now we're in 2023.
It's crazy how calendars work.
God.
All righty.
Where are we, Trev?
Should we get back on the ropes?
Wait, what? Wait, is that it for the 1x1?
Did we even talk about the elimination? Like,
No, I don't think we have.
So it's just word scrambles.
yeah.
Yes.
I guess logistically about it, my question was, were they not allowed to down goes Trev, be all in always, were they not allowed to look at more than one word at once? Because I would have just gone all the way out, held my body on the ground, and like memorized as many of the 7 words as I could, because it didn't take you that long to actually unscramble them.
True, but you also have to realize that the average IQ of the people in this house is like 30. So you have to keep that in mind. Also, one little I like that idea, because then you get all the letters where they're supposed to go line wise or word wise, if you will. But unite could have also been untie. So I'm the only one thinking that.
Did anybody else get the vibe of this elimination? I think it was Johnny Riley was the one yelling. Do you remember that daily challenge where he was pulling up the puzzle piece and he was screaming?
Yes, you guys talked about this like very recently.
Did we?
Yes, you always bring up little Johnny.
I mean, can we get him back?
I mean, all right. So I was wondering the same thing about just the puzzle and what you were allowed to do. And it just seemed a hell of a lot easier to, even if you can't memorize all 5 words or memorize 2 words, which these idiots can't do, even if you only look at the first word, which was unite or untie, whatever, it seems a hell of a lot easier to look at it while you're like, pulling the thing to lift up the board, look at it, think about what the word is, go back and then spell it. Where it seems like what they were doing was they were figuring out what letters it is. Like, okay, N-T-I-U-E. Then I go back to the board and put those letters up. It seems like much harder to do that because you're remembering the letters in a random order as opposed to a word. And so I don't know if it didn't seem like the effort, the strength to pull up the board was that tough, which I get. Though that would be my only thing of why you would want to go back so quickly. But it seemed like they were doing it pretty easily, and so I don't know why they wouldn't just look at a word, think about what it would be, think about one cohesive word instead of 5 unique letters, and then go back and then what the word is, and then just put up the letters and spell it. But like we said, these people are just not fucking smart.
Yeah, and going back to Johnny Riley, has anyone seen Avery recently?
Explain.
She's pretty bad.
Wasn't she doing stuff for the Fiesta Bowl?
I think so.
I think she was.
I think there are a lot of strong Avery All-Stars 4 rumors out there right about now.
Watch it. No spoilers here. Adamitos. I know you're a big spoiler.
I think we all agree that cast spoilers are not spoilers. Like before they leave for filming. Oh, don't give me that face, Nom. We all bullshit that. We all bullshit looking at remember the invasion hype when we're like, oh, they're bringing back fucking Darrell, Bananas, these legends. We love looking at the cast.
I agree. The one time that did screw me over personally was Champs versus Pros, when they had the rule that it could only be champs, and Ashley was somehow a champ, and I was so confused by it because I was like, she's not a champ, and then sure enough, she wins fucking Invasion, so obviously she had won. That's the one time I wish I had not known the cast.
God. Did they also screw up the cast list when Camilla left? Didn't she have like a storm off?
She like berated a customer service person at the hotel, and then I think she stole a golf cart.
Wasn't she driving the golf cart through like the hotel?
Yeah, while she was like blackout drunk.
I'm picturing like Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, like rated R or something, like what she was doing. Like,
I'm sure Marshawn Lynch, a cow, just fucking stees in.
God, not to be confused with Marshawn Lattimore.
God, Trev, you know who that is for
Marcus.
Sure.
For sure. All right. So, anything else from tonight's episode, or I guess from the elimination? I mean,
Nani wins, buzzer beater.
Nani wins this buzzer beater, but as Mikey the Doctor wrote in the chat, if only Casey explained the rules, we could have known if it was a buzzer that you hit or you say check like any other elimination we've ever had. I think Tej and his wife had no idea what was going on too. She kind of was like looking around with the horn or whatever. I don't know.
She got saved by the misspell. I think that would have gotten dicey.
I mean, so can we all agree though, if she would have spelled that word correctly, that she wins, correct? Right?
Yes.
Damn, that's crazy to think about.
I don't know.
I do have one last question because I know we're done with the elimination and we're done with the episode pretty much. But this is kind of my last thought on the whole episode for you guys is, we've joked from time to time about how when Banana stole the money from Sarah, they showed the graphic Sarah $0. And it's just like, how stupid do you think your viewers are? I kind of asked that same question in the sense of, do they really need to show Mariah coming back? And they've done that every single time so far that the twist has been implemented. Do they really need to show Nerese losing and TJ says, you're not done yet? Like, we all understand. We all understand the twist of the game. Like, I guess last week, it was the first time they sent a team home, so you kind of understand that. But, like, I think they could have ended the episode with the elimination and not shown Mariah again. Like, we all know that Mariah is still in the game. We're not idiots. We watch every week. Like, I just think they're wasting 2.5 minutes every episode at this point.
I wish we would get to see the Redemption House.
What's it like with Kenny meeting Mariah now?
Hey, I'm Casey's brother. Oh, what's going on? Yes, the HBO Max password and the information's right over here.
Well, I was smirking at the possibility of Nani losing and Nani going to the Redemption House, and she remembers Kenny from like meeting him at like Christmas or a family reunion, but she doesn't remember that he was on the show. And she's like, Kenny? What are you doing here? Are you like surprising us when the show wraps up? And he's like, no, like I was on like for like 7 or 8 episodes. Like
You're on the same
I
team.
was Casey's partner.
That's so good.
I do love the Redemption House shots and like brief little snippets they throw in there. I hope we get one in a couple episodes because they do it late. And it looks like next episode we might start telling people about it. So I hope we get that because those scenes, especially with this motley crew that's in there, would just be top notch.
I need to see this Redemption House. I need to see it. I need to see the hotel.
Do you guys remember they've had a couple like different types of redemption houses, but do you remember the one season, maybe Final Reckoning or something, where this guy, great comment, Mikey the Doctor. Do you guys remember the redemption house where they like made this twist where they had surveillance into the main house, but it didn't provide any storylines at all. It literally was just like a 10-second, like, oh my God, we have surveillance. And then there was like nothing that ever came out of it.
They gave up on the storyline.
Who was that?
Who?
God, very Mario Party Boo ghost-esque from Alex.
Tapping A super fast right now. Anything else from tonight's episode?
The teams right now are giving me mid 2000s Eastern Conference NBA versus Western Conference NBA vibes, where like the Bananas Fezzy team is the Western Conference where they've got most of the good guys, but then the East has LeBron, aka Jordan, and then some like under the radar guys like Horacio would be like the Toronto Raptors in this case. So I feel like the Vets team or whatever color that is probably the favorite right now, since I'm the gambling guy. I'd put it at like minus 175, but that's the vibe I'm getting right now from these guys. What do you think of as like the second biggest gambling guy?
Watch it.
I mean, at this point, if Jordan gets eliminated next episode, you might as well just pack it in now, right? Because Anissa ain't saving his ass. So like, what? You disagree?
Not at all.
Oh,
you think Anissa is going to be in any sort of power?
Does this give you more power over me? All right. Anything else? And yes, Jesse Adams, I 100% agree. Jordan's outfit was very Cam Newton-esque tonight. He kind of looks like Little Red Riding Hood, too.
We're like Tanya from White Lotus vibes.
Ooh, I ain't mad at that.
All right,
Kenny could probably tell us all about that.
He's been watched everything. How much? What? Honestly, and I hate to keep bringing this up, but what is Kenny actually doing?
I think he's pissed. I think
He's so pissed.
he came here for a good time. When he got eliminated, he wasn't upset. He's like, I gave it my best try. I'm gonna go home to my kid. And they're like, no, Kenny, you're still here. And he's like pissed about it.
He's probably like begging for his laptop to like at least do some work from the hotel, and they're like, no, like you can't have that. You're still on the challenge. You can't have any of that stuff. And he's just fucking miserable in there.
And he's like, Barry season 4 doesn't come out for another 12 months. What the fuck am I gonna watch?
Might as well start The Sopranos.
All right, let's go to some segments tonight. Jesus, Mike the Doctor, that's too far. Segments tonight, this day in challenge history. What do we got, Alex?
All right, so for this day in challenge history, we got a little double rapid fire trivia question. January 4th, calendar is now turned, but on January 4th of the duel 1, there was actually a double header. So it was 2 back-to-back 30-minute episodes. Would have been a fucking great night of TV. But the first question is going to be on that night, DM, RIP, thoughts and prayers. She
Trev
lost
doesn't like her.
elimination.
What?
Trev doesn't like her.
Who did DM lose an elimination to on this day?
Was it
On the duel?
I think I know who it is. I'll write it down if you guys want to guess.
Whoa.
5, 4, 3, 2.
You
No
got any
idea.
guess at all? I put
Everybody's
Anissa.
scared. Anissa, yeah. Started off their rivalry.
That was like 20 years ago, and Anissa's still doing it.
Is it Anissa?
Yeah.
I think it's Anissa.
All right. So part 2.
Am I right?
Part 2
I'm out.
is the guys' elimination that
Wes.
night. CT1. Who did he beat?
Brad.
No, Brad beat CT. CT beat Evan.
Evan Starkman.
God.
Adam was 2 for 2.
Challenge historian.
And watch it. Do you remember what Evan did in that elimination? When he wrote down the fucking puzzle shape on his forearm? And they walk in there and he has his sleeves like half rolled up, and TJ looks down and just sees like Sharpie coming out of his sleeves, and he's like, what the fuck is that? And he makes Evan roll up his sleeve, and he just literally has the exact puzzle tangram because they were repeating eliminations. And so Evan had it written down exactly how the puzzle goes together. And TJ's just like, yeah, you're not fucking doing the elimination with that on your arm.
Well, that brings up a
smart play by
question.
him.
Did you guys like the era where they would repeat eliminations? Or at least where like it was, like a spinning wheel, and you at least knew what each of them was?
I did, personally.
I liked it.
I liked it too. As long as you have a couple of heavy hitters in there, I'm good with it.
You know what I'm always a sucker for, though? And
A puzzle. You've always.
I know this is kind of controversial. I know some people don't like this, but I know, Adam, it's from your favorite season, Fresh Meat.
Mm-hmm.
Watch it.
Where they do eliminations in the dark, like you can't see what's going in, and it's basically, you can't see an elimination, and then you don't know who's coming back, and whoever comes back comes back. I bulge at that. I know you being a Fresh Meat expert, Adam. Anything you want to talk about on that? Because did you suggest Fresh Meat 3 or something?
Yeah, I've always wanted Fresh Meat 3. The other smirky thing about that is when the people would get back to the house and he'd be like, yeah, like the elimination they had us eating like pig testicles, and then we had to like
a lot of lying.
Just so much lying. Just that was smirk.
Sounds smirk.
For sure.
SMERK. All right. Any other segments tonight?
Let's get to MVP, LVP.
MVP, LVP time. You guys know what to do for MVP, LVP. Give us the order. We'll go from that. First,
they got to type out 4 names in a row.
Wow.
Get the keyboard ready.
So
how's everybody doing?
Mike the Doctor. First person, Alex, Adam, Trev, Andy is your order. So Alex, kick us off.
Oh man. I'm gonna go my MVP tonight. I've given this person LVP a couple times already. I'm gonna go MVP Adam Mitos.
Wow.
On the
Let's
pod,
go.
First one of the year. He hasn't missed a pod this year. you give him an LVP when he deserves it. You got to give him an MVP when he deserves it. So I'm going MVP as Adam tonight.
I mean, my question is, Alex, if I'm being honest, does Adam Mitos deserve an MVP or does NC deserve an MVP?
Yep.
I'm just throwing it out there.
I mean, I'll take it either way. It's coming back to McCordsville, whichever one of those you give it to. So I'll take the trophy.
All right.
God, take it straight to Menards for 11% off.
God, 13% off.
Everything you can fit in the bag.
All right. Adam, MVP.
Oh, God, I haven't done one of these in a while. I feel like Trevor's way more smirky with the inanimate object MVP, so I'm going to save hopefully one for him. I'm going to give my MVP to Wes Bergman. Wes Bergman, as far as I'm concerned, is still the reigning challenge champion. People forget All-Stars 3 champion towards the end of last year. always, I'm always comfortable giving him an MVP just based on his commentary on Twitter, Instagram, etc. Also, not to mention, this is his 15th year anniversary with Beta Blocks this month in January. So shout out Wes Bergman, blanket MVP. I don't come on SDP enough to give him the amount that he deserves, so I'm going to give it right now.
Can I take back my MVP?
No, it's on the board.
But LVP hasn't come around yet.
Oh God, watch it.
Adam, didn't you wish him congratulations on LinkedIn for like the 10th year in a row too? Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I have. We're connected, and whenever I'm in the Kansas City area, I've always got to pop into the office to see if my boy Weston is around.
Great pick. My MVP tonight, I don't know how it slid this far. It's got to be Mrs. TJ Lavin, the GOAT. I mean, unbelievable appearance tonight. I think I went from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock so fast. It was just unbelievable. So I'm definitely going Mrs. TJ Lavin. Hope to see her in the future, maybe even on the show as a contestant. Bloodlines.
I mean, more airtime than Kenny this season.
Facts. Wait, who?
HBO.
All right, MVP Andy.
God, I've got a few, but this is tough. I'm gonna keep it in the same line of where Trev was going towards in terms of being related or having some affiliation with TJ. I'm gonna give it TJ's laugh. TJ's laugh was top notch tonight. I mean, when they did that first Target daily elimination, it was like every 5 seconds. It was hilarious. He's the best. I mean, I don't want to give it to just TJ. Granted, his wife came on. It was a TJ episode, really, but his laugh was on full force tonight. So I got to give it to his laugh.
Good pick. LVP tonight, Andy.
So I'm really glad that I start the LVP train because I only had one jotted down. I'm going to give my LVP pick to Fuzzle. Here's the thing. I feel like it's a cop-out pick for me to pick Fuzzle for LVP.
You think?
But here's the thing. He just has to stop giving me reasons to make him my LVP. It's not a me problem. It's a him problem. It took the entire house to help him out while he's doing this daily elimination. I thought he had his stripes. According to him, he does. He doesn't. He needed an entire house to help him out to finish a daily? Are you serious?
Every sniper needs a spotter.
Yeah, he needed 10. Fuzzle's my LVP pick. He's terrible. He's the worst. I've been on record multiple times for saying he's the worst veteran that we have on these shows. I stick to it, and he continues to prove me right.
Good pick. My LVP tonight is something we haven't even talked about tonight. And I was trying to keep it under the radar because I didn't want to bring it up and jot down something for this LVP pick. I would put this up in the category of the Swaley blanket, if you guys remember. And my LVP tonight is gotta be that jumpsuit that what's her name? Amber wore. The cat jumpsuit thingy. Do you not remember that during deliberation?
Is this like a This Day in Challenge history or something?
That was one of the worst outfits I've ever seen. There was 150 cats on her fucking outfit. Are you kidding me?
I remember Amber wearing purple pants tonight. Is that it?
Are you kidding? Do you guys just not watch the deliberation? Her outfit?
I thought she looked cute. I honestly didn't.
With all the cats on all her. Are you kidding me?
I told you this is my 15-minute zone out.
God, I'm gonna see if I can find a picture of this outfit because
God, I feel like maybe Jesse Adams slipped you a little bit of that cookie because I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Jesus.
I don't think the chat does either.
Was
Did
this a
nobody
dream?
see Amber B's outfit during the deliberation?
I wish I did.
Oh my God.
I feel like it just looked like a regular sweater.
God.
Yeah, I would need you to review the tape and pull up the picture, Trev.
So what's the pick? Amber's outfit?
Amber B's
Amber's-
cat outfit is the pick. I'm trying to find a picture. I'm on it right now.
I was gonna pick that if it slid to me.
God.
All right. Well, while Trev does that, who's next?
I think
Am
it's.
I up?
I think it's. You already went. All right. So for my LVP, this might be a little off the beaten path, but I'm going to go with. Let's see how I want this to be phrased. I'm going to go with.
Wait a minute. Before you pick, you're going to say you're going to go off the beaten path right after Trev says Amber B's made up cat outfit. I can't wait to see
That's
what
true.
off the path means to you.
God. All right. I'm going to go with Orlando, Florida public school English curriculum. Because Mariah is from Orlando, Florida, and she couldn't spell devotion. And that could possibly make her lose $1 million for not spelling a third grade spelling word.
I ain't mad at that.
I mean, she had it in the bag. She literally hit the button.
But that is one of those things where you see it. It's almost like if you read like a paragraph and there's one word misspelled, but you just read it, it's very easy to overlook that. And with the tensions as high as they are, I cut her just a little bit of slack on that front, and she also picked up on it right away. But I do still think that's a good
I don't know about right away because that wasn't even her last word. That was her second to last word.
Exactly. So you get that one done, you immediately go on to the next one. Then she presses the buzzer, looks at it, and realizes, oh shit, this isn't right.
The only other reason why that maybe should be more of an honorable mention is because we also found out that she was going up against Nani, the writer, the author, apparently. Did you guys catch that?
Yeah. What was that about?
Is Nani just like writing screenplays in her free time? Like what does that even mean?
In between Marlboros?
all of her characters are based on BME people. How like Bananas is the main character.
Got it. Good pick. I like it.
All right. Am I up?
Trev,
All right.
you're up.
So I'm up.
Redemption.
I'm up for
Go ahead.
LVP. I'm last for LVP. And I was between two different things for my LVP. And I was actually going to get my pick to devotion. Just the word devotion. But since Adam's pick was so similar, I'm gonna go to my
You got
backup.
an audible last minute.
I'm gonna go to my backup LVP pick, which is gonna be Adam.
No, come on.
The double. Has that ever
I've
been
literally been on every episode this year.
I'm going Adam with the West MVP pick. He took my LVP pick, and so I think this has maybe been done before, but not too often. The old double up MVP and LVP.
Jesus.
So I'm gonna give my first LVP of the year to Adam.
I mean, I'm on pace for 52.
Oh,
I
God.
don't know how I feel about that.
Wait, the challenge is on for 52 weeks?
Well, just this season, but they'll probably throw in an All-Stars, Challenge, USA, Champs versus Pros.
We're not recapping that, right?
God, would you guys recap the CT wedding special?
God. But surely there's no other wedding special coming up soon, right?
You're talking about Mission Impossible 7?
God. That's the pre.
Mount Rushmore.
Mount Rushmore, Mission Impossible movies.
I thought honorable mention MVP for Chauncey. I thought he did really well in the daily. Him and Casey knocking that out pretty fast. And he just seems like a decent dude. Kind of not as normal and boring as Kenny, but he's kind of leaning towards that scale. You know, who's like really emotionally beat up about it with Amber. Just seems like a good boyfriend. And yeah, you know, he was also pretty good in That Awkward Moment and like the Creed movies. Like I kind of like him.
I would say honorable mention for MVP for Devin, just because he, you know, the second any of these people show any signs of intelligence, it's like, you know, moss to a flame. So I would say that, and he protected Tori kind of in the process, and then also maybe Amber's sister. She was shown on the FaceTime. I'm not mad at that. Let's get some more Instagram check on her. Let's follow her. But I would say those are my two honorable mentions for MVP.
And I only had one kind of piggybacking on the Devin one. Got to give an honorable mention to sportsmanship. Great display by Devin, helping out the other team. Also, great sportsmanship example of Mariah. When she realized she lost, she was like, "Oh, I screwed up. That was it." It gave me flashbacks of the exact opposite with the whole
Laurel.
ninja Laurel. Just like, no, that's not it. Like it was just a shit show. So for Mariah to just be like, "Yep, I got it wrong. Nana, you got it." Very hard to come by in this show. So got to give a little sportsmanship.
I agree. I agree with that. But the one thing I will stick up for Laurel in that situation, saying that was a bullshit elimination.
Agreed.
Could you imagine if that was the elimination they brought in Mrs. TJ for? Like she already kind of fucked this one up. And could you imagine Laurel just like berating her and just like talking down to her and telling her how stupid it was? She would crumble.
God. Anything else from tonight's episode?
Predictions?
Okay. We can do
Do
predictions.
we think they're going to find out something next week?
I think format has to change next week. I really do. They've gone 2
there's only
rounds
2
each of guys, girls.
There's only 2 girls on the yellow or green or magenta team, whatever it is. There's only 2 more.
So when they split up into teams, they did guys first, right? Because Kenny was the very first person gone.
Yes.
And so tonight was a girl episode. So it's even right now. The numbers are even, guy to girl. So they theoretically what they could do is go through the motions, have a challenge, have somebody maybe TJ says a guy and a girl are getting sent in, and then they kind of reveal the twist and they compete as teams or something. But I don't think we have to wait another episode to see that, since the numbers right now are even.
Yeah, but TJ wouldn't do a twist, would he? Like that's not.
Oh, it also looks like we're getting a location change.
That's always good.
That's always good.
That plays.
You know, that's always good.
What's aged the best?
Where's Argentina? Is that a continent?
Oh my, we're going to Prague. Where's that?
Fucking idiots.
Anything else?
I think we started out the year strong.
I mean, some might say this was the best recap of the year. Anything else?
No, I think the only thing that all in this pod with is, you know, this episode for us was great. The chat was great. The Big Four was alive and well. But I will offer a cautionary word to the chat that the Big Four is probably not going to be common. One of us is under almost a pseudo house arrest. So I would just say keep your expectations and hopes at a moderate level. We would all love to see the Big Four alive and well all the time, but that ain't going to happen.
Damn, I didn't realize it was that bad with DR. Like, you just can't. I didn't. Oh, damn, dude, I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was
Well,
like
I mean, Adam, to be fair, we kind of got a glimpse of that last week when Andy was rushing off the pod. So, you know.
Well, yeah. 45 minutes. He texted me a half hour ago. He's like, dude, we got to wrap this up. I didn't want to say it out loud, but I was like, bud, come on, we're just having fun.
Watch it.
Anything else? Are we good to go?
Honorable mention MVP to the chat is popping, like Adam, have always said. And thanks for always having me, both the chat and my co-hosts here. It's always a pleasure.
Well, Adam, me and Alex are lucky to have you on the pod all the time. So thank you guys for listening to a brand new Stir the Pod podcast show. You can follow us on Twitter at Stir the Pod. You can follow us on Instagram at Stir_the_pod. Thank you guys. Love you guys. Shout out Duffy. Bye-bye.